Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be checking out the RunCam Sparrow. And now this is a new camera from RunCam. It is a 16:9 full-size camera. You can see it takes 5 to 36 volts, and it has a 150-degree field of view. And they also just came out with the Micro Sparrow, but this is the full-size edition. And over the Micro Sparrow, this one does have a voltage OSD. You can see the VBAT plus there, so it will display your voltage on screen, as well as it does have an audio, because you can see it has an onboard microphone. So that's pretty neat if you like hearing the motor noise from your quad. It's real convenient that it just has it built in. And similar to the Micro Swift 2 for the OSD, this does have the built-in presets, as well as the low voltage warning where it flashes red on screen. And if you take a look, just what else comes with this camera. See, we get a little aluminum metal mounting bracket, get a bunch of little screws for that, as well as a little hex driver. That's a nice inclusion. We get the standard OSD cable to change settings, just this little 2-pin thing that sticks on the side over here around an OSD, as well as we do get an extension cable, which is nice if you want to put this in the port like that, and then leave this in your quad and just like sort of bunch it up so you can hang it out the side, so you can change it in the field, which is nice to give the option. Then here we have the main camera cables. See, just a 3-pin to 3-pin there for the video. And then here is a bigger one that includes the video, the voltage ground. The white one is audio, and that blue one is for the voltage OSD, which I'll just plug in right there. And it looks like we also do get a spare case, which is pretty nice. Looks like this is just sort of the standard case with the back on it. Yep, nothing special here. However, this one does have, if you look, this one has the 3 mounting holes that has some of the Foxier cameras have, and this one has sort of the more standard one hole with the hole to lock it in the back, so you can choose which case you want. You just have to pull the sensor out of this, put it in here, and then put the lens back on and refocus it. But it is nice that they give you all these extras to use. If you take a look at the lens itself, you can see it is a pretty overall wide lens. It says 2.1 millimeters on the side here, but as you can see, it doesn't really stick out that far. It's actually kind of a small lens in terms of size overall, especially when you compare it to something like the Eagle 2 lens, which you can see it's just way bigger in length and in width there. So this will be nice to keep it more protected in your frame as it's a little bit smaller. So it's just a real quick overview of what comes with the camera, so let me get it installed on a frame and we'll give it a test fly. Alright, so here we just have the Sparrow on stock settings. You can see you have RunCam at the bottom there, but obviously you can change that to put your pilot name. You have the voltage over on the left and the little timer on the right. However, that starts when you power on, not when you arm. And this is the stock settings here. Hopefully you can probably see a little bit of over sharpening and a little bit of shimmering here, as well as you probably do notice that it's in a 4:3 aspect ratio here. The camera is a 16:9, but for some reason my Aomway Commander goggles the DVR records in a 4:3, so it kind of squishes it back together. Wasn't able to get it back stretched out, but it still looks pretty good here. Just flying around seeing what it looks like. This is a sort of bright day out right now. You can see just going around, it handles the high sun pretty well, getting lots of good detail. Image overall looks very nice, well saturated. The over sharpening is pretty annoying there, but I'm sure just with some changes in the settings to the sharpness level through the little OSD cable, you could probably get rid of that there. Alright, and now switching over to the Sparrow again, but this is in late evening, so the sun is pretty much just going down behind the mountain there, so it's quite a bit darker out. And when I was flying this in the goggles, it was very hard to see. The DVR actually shows it a lot brighter than I was seeing it, so my goggle brightness settings need to come up. But the overall detail and darkness over there in the weeds where the sun is not shining, it's just really blown out and kind of hard to see. back here in this section, the detail is just kind of lost in these shadows. Not terrible, but you know, it is a CMOS camera, so that's pretty much what you expect. You sacrifice the low light handling to get a little bit better image quality. And then here we are swapping over to a Foxeer Micro, just as a standard CCD camera. You can see this is the exact same time right after the last video clip that I just showed you. And you can see just how much more detail it shows you. It doesn't look quite as pretty and nice to look at, but it's a lot more functional of an image as you can see everything. Alright, so let's just finish up on what I think of this RunCam Sparrow. So let's just start off with the lens here. It does say it's a 2.1mm lens, and on the box it says 150-degree field of view. And normally with 16:9 cameras, I find that the field of view, especially the vertical field of view, is lacking, which is why I really don't like them that much, especially for racing, because as you're tilting far forward with your camera, it kind of gets hard to see as you're going around turns. But this one was actually really nice and wide, and I didn't find the distortion to be a problem, so a really decent field of view overall. As for the light handling, sort of similar to my experiences with the Eagle 2 here, and pretty much just any other CMOS camera in general. If you hold it and just still and look at an object, it's actually going to look really nice and have a really nice picture to it. But if you're moving around with lots of light changes, with say a dark ground and a really bright sun, it's really where CMOS kind of drops the ball, and where a CCD is much better for that. So the light handling in terms of bringing out detail in the shadows is really definitely not that good on here. But if you're running it in a very nice bright sunny day, which usually a lot of people are, or a cloudy day, anything that's not super dark or super bright and contrasty, it's probably going to be perfectly fine. And the overall image and colors out of it look super nice. Just the light handling is something that really makes me shy away from CMOS cameras like this. And of course it does have an inbuilt mic, but I didn't hook the audio up on the VTX, so I didn't use it. But if that's something you're interested in, that is nice. And for anyone curious, the full-size Sparrow weighs 14.01 grams. So yeah, that's going to bring us to the end of the video here. For me personally, especially for racing, I definitely do like the micro cameras with the 4:3 aspect ratio. They're just so much lighter, and they're CCD, which I think is a much better option for FPV flying. But that's my personal opinion. I know a lot of people like 16:9 CMOS cameras, so this might be a good option for you. There'll be a link down below if you're interested. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.